Have you ever had that feeling, that little nagging thought in the back of your mind, that something about our reality is just off, a moment of déjà vu that feels too real? A coincidence so perfect it seems scripted. What if I told you that feeling might be more than just a glitch in your brain? What if it's a glitch in the matrix? Today, we diving headfirst down one of the most mind-bending rabbit holes in modern philosophy and science, the simulation hypothesis. The core idea is simple, yet its implications are staggering. What if our entire universe, from the grandest galaxies down to the very atoms that make you and me, is nothing more than an incredibly advanced computer simulation? This isn't just a plot from a sci-fi movie. It's a serious proposal being discussed by some of the brightest minds on the planet, including philosophers, physicists, and tech visionaries. The person who really brought this into the mainstream is Oxford philosopher Nick Bostrom. Back in 2003, he published a paper that laid out what's known as the simulation argument. Bostrom's logic is a trilemma, meaning it presents three possibilities, and he argues that at least one of them must be true. Let's break them down. First, the fraction of human-level civilizations that reach a post-human stage where they have immense technological power is very close to zero. This could be because civilizations tend to destroy themselves before they get that far, whether through war, climate change, or some other catastrophe. This is the great filter idea. We just don't make it. Second, the fraction of these post-human civilizations that are interested in running ancestor simulations is very close to zero. Maybe once a civilization becomes super advanced, they lose all interest in their evolutionary past. They might have ethical prohibitions against simulating conscious beings. Or they simply have better things to do, like exploring other dimensions or merging with the cosmic consciousness. It's just not on their to-do list. Third, the fraction of all people with our kind of experiences that are living in a simulation is very close to 1. This is the kicker. If the first two possibilities are false-meaning civilizations do tend to reach a post-human stage, and they do like to run simulations of their ancestors, then the conclusion is almost unavoidable. Think about it. A post-human civilization would have access to unimaginable computing power. They could run billions upon billions of ancestor simulations. Maybe for scientific research, historical study, or even just for entertainment, like a hyper-realistic video game. If that's the case, the number of simulated realities would vastly outnumber the one single base reality. So, based on pure statistics, it's far more likely that we are one of the countless simulated beings rather than the original organic ones. It's a powerful argument. You either have to believe that technological civilizations are doomed, or that advanced beings find simulations boring, or that we are probably in one right now. This idea has caught fire, especially in Silicon Valley. You've probably heard figures like Elon Musk talk about it. He famously said that the odds we're living in base reality are 1 in billions. His reasoning is based on the rapid progress of video game technology. Look at where we were 40 or 50 years ago with games like Pong just to rectangles and a dot. Now we have photorealistic, massive open-world virtual realities. If we assume any rate of improvement at all, games will eventually become indistinguishable from reality. And since those games could be played on any number of consoles or computers, again, the number of simulated worlds would dwarf the one real world. So, if we are in a simulation, is there any way to prove it? This is where things get really fascinating, as scientists are actually trying to devise experiments to peek behind the curtain. One intriguing idea comes from the world of physics. In a computer simulation, resources are finite. You can't have infinite processing power. To save on resources, a simulation might not render details until they're being observed. This sounds a lot like one of the weirdest principles in quantum mechanics. Particles, like electrons, seem to exist in a fuzzy cloud of probabilities à superposition until we measure them, at which point they snap into a definite state. Is this a property of nature, or is it the universe's rendering engine saving on processing power until a conscious observer looks? Another potential clue could be the very fabric of spacetime itself. Some physicists propose that if our universe is a simulation, then space and time might not be smooth and continuous. Instead, they might be made up of tiny, discrete units, like pixels on a screen. The smallest possible unit of space is thought to be the Planck length, an incredibly tiny scale. If we could ever probe reality at that level and find that it's pixelated, it would be strong evidence that it's running on some kind of cosmic computer grid. Physicists are looking for potential signs of this, like anomalies in the behavior of ultra-high-energy cosmic rays. If the universe has a grid, these particles might behave in very specific, predictable ways that wouldn't happen if space were perfectly smooth. But what would the purpose of this simulation be? If we're characters in a program, who is the programmer and why are they running it? One possibility is that it's a scientific experiment. Perhaps our creators are trying to understand the fundamental laws of their own universe by simulating a new one, with slightly different physical constants to see what happens. Maybe they're sociologists, studying how civilizations develop, how consciousness emerges, or how societies deal with existential challenges. We could be just one of millions of what-if scenarios being played out. What if gravity was 10% weaker? What if a planet evolved to intelligent species instead of one? Run the simulation and see. Another, perhaps more unsettling idea is that we are a historical simulation, the ancestor simulation Bostrom described. Our creators are simply a future version of humanity looking back at their own past. You could be a simulation of one of your own distant descendants' great-great-great-grandparents. Or maybe it's something we can't even comprehend. The purpose could be artistic, religious, or something so alien to our way of thinking that we lack the concepts to even describe it. What if our entire universe, with all its joys, sorrows, triumphs, and tragedies, is just a student's final project for a class we can't imagine? Now, this all raises a profound philosophical question. If we are in a simulation, does our life have any meaning? Does anything we do matter? I think the answer is a resounding yes. Think about it this way: the love you feel for your family, the joy of creating something new, the satisfaction of overcoming a challenge, those experiences are real to you. Your consciousness, your tour, your emotions are real within the framework of this reality. Whether that framework is a base reality or a simulated one doesn't change the authenticity of your experience. A friendship in a video game can feel just as real and meaningful as one in the physical world. The code might be artificial, but the feelings it generates are genuine. In fact, living in a simulation could be seen as empowering. It suggests that the rules of our reality might not be as fixed as we think. Could we hack the simulation? Could we learn to manipulate the code? This is the ultimate premise of movies like The Matrix Awakening to the true nature of reality and gaining extraordinary abilities. Ultimately, the simulation hypothesis is the perfect thought experiment. It forces us to question the very nature of existence, consciousness, and what it means to be human. It blends cutting-edge science with the deepest philosophical questions we've been asking for centuries. We don't have definitive proof yet, and we may never have it. But the possibility alone is enough to change the way you look at the world. So the next time you see a strange coincidence or experience a moment of intense déjà vu, just pause for a second. Maybe it's just your brain playing tricks on you. Or maybe, just maybe, it's a tiny little glitch in the code of the universe. What do you think? Are we living in a computer simulation? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. It's a huge topic, and I'd love to hear your perspective. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoy exploring these kinds of mind-bending ideas, make sure to subscribe for more. I'll see you in the next one.